As I've mentioned in my past videos, you don't actually need to start big when buying SUVs, especially if it's your first time buying them. I suggest that you get a good feel for them first before you decide to upgrade. Subcompact and compact models are already great these days anyway, and a lot of them pack good features, exceptional fuel efficiency, and impressive driving demeanor. I've seen many good options for these little but rugged drivers this 2024, and I'm about to give you a rundown to the ones that are currently on the top of the US SUV market. Hello everyone, this is Ted from CarlandTV. Get in the back seat because, in this episode, I am listing all the top subcompact and compact SUVs this year based on multiple market metrics, such as handling, comfort, cargo space, and even how fun they are to drive around. Before I start, please hit the subscribe and notification bells. They help the channel a lot. Now buckle up and let's get back to the video. 2024. Buick and Vista. Let's start this rundown with a subcompact SUV named Buick and Vista. And no, this is not a coupe. It is styled like one, but it's definitely an SUV. Also, don't get afraid. While it's true that Buick builds semi-luxurious production cars, the 2024 Envista is actually affordable. Its starting price is $23,000, which is definitely within the reach of the entry-level market. The Envista is a direct competitor of the Mazda CX-30 and Chevy Trax, which I will get into later. The Envista was fashioned as a fuel-efficient daily commuter, one that drives really well but doesn't accelerate fast. If you want an athletic SUV, I suggest you skip the Envista entirely. It only has a 136 horsepower powertrain paired with a 6-speed automatic transmission and front-wheel drive. These stats tell that this crossover is not for those who are seeking thrills on the road. It's more for those who are seeking a practical and comfortable ride. Buick knows that Envista isn't going to win in the performance department, so the manufacturer improved the quality of its interior appointments and streamlined the safety features of the SUV instead. The base model already has value-driven niceties, such as a large digital gauge display, a touchscreen infotainment system, and automatic high-beam headlamps. In the grand scheme, the latest Envista is still a high-value proposition. It's not fast and nimble, but is pleasurable and comfortable to drive. 2024. Volkswagen Tiguan. I understand if the 2024 Volkswagen Tiguan didn't come up on your SUV radar. In recent years, Volkswagen vehicles have been quite bland. I know this is a hot take, but most of the company's vehicles are bland. On the flip side, I believe that the 2024 Tiguan deserves a lot. For starters, the Tiguan somehow was able to balance on-road performance, practicality, and handling. Again, this isn't the most stylistic or fastest SUV in the market right now. However, it compensates for those inadequacies by having an agreeable driving verve and satisfying fuel economy. According to EPA estimates, the 2024 Tiguan has a fuel economy of about 31 miles per gallon on highways and 24 miles per gallon in cities. If you fit the ride with an all-wheel drive system, its fuel efficiency lowers, but only a bit. It's almost unnoticeable, as a matter of fact. There's only one powertrain available throughout all the trims of Volkswagen Tiguan. Under its hood is a turbocharged 2-liter 4-cylinder engine that cranks up to 184 horsepower. The juice runs through its 8-speed automatic transmission, effectively powering its front wheels. But yeah, you can always get Volkswagen's 4Motion all-wheel drive if you want more power on its wheels. One interesting case about the Tiguan is that it's the only compact SUV on the market that offers an optional third row. At first, you may think that a third row on a compact SUV would make the cabin a bit stiff. But fair play to Volkswagen for preventing this from happening. For me, it still feels spacious inside, even with the third row, but I guess you need to verify that one for yourself. 2024. Mazda CX-30. The first Mazda I'm going to feature here is the CX-30. This is the smaller cousin of the CX50 and one of the top-selling subcompact SUVs in the United States in 2024. Similar to the CX50, the 2024 CX30 is an agile and sleek SUV. It's among those brand-new cars that have a chef-kiss driving verve. So if you want an SUV that drives with finesse and fluidity, this gotta be it. I also gave it a nod because this SUV is inspired by the Mazda 3. It's not just athletic, but it has a cabin that is a step above most of its competitors, even against crowd favorites like the Taos or the Crosstrek of Subaru. The interior is handsome and spacious and offers a generous room for your cargo. With a base price of $26,000, the CX30 is already equipped with a 191 horsepower, 2.5-liter four-cylinder engine paired with a 6-speed automatic transmission. I do have to note that its standard powertrain has rather pokey acceleration. Several real-world tests indicate that its 0 to 60 record is about 8 seconds or so. It's still faster than the Subaru Crosstrek, but it definitely loses its wind against a turbocharged Kona. Hence, if you want more speed, I guess you need to step up your spending to get the optional turbocharged engine that makes up to 250 horsepower. With this powertrain, the CX30 becomes a sprinter. It hits 0 to 60 in under 6 seconds. But with the standard engine, you get a more fuel-savvy version of the CX30 with 29 miles per gallon combined, according to EPA estimates. 2024 Chevrolet Trax. The 2024 Chevrolet Trax is built differently. I don't know about you, but this subcompact SUV packs a lot of goodies for its starting price of $21,000. Let me start by saying that the new Chevy Trax is an eye-pleaser. I am so glad that it got the refresh that it needs, because look at this thing. It's just so dazzling. And even its cabin is close to upscale. Sure, it's not a luxury cabin, but it's definitely clean, spacious, and comfortable. Chevrolet also took the complaints of previous Chevy Trax owners and improved the car's safety features. The latest model gets the Chevy Safety Assist Driver Assistance Suite, which includes a host of standard features like automated emergency braking with pedestrian detection and lane departure and lane keep assist. These perks are making the Trax a more attractive choice to American buyers. Pound per pound, it's definitely one of my top 3 for best value subcompact SUVs. The only downside of this ride is its lethargic powertrain. It only outputs 136 horsepower, which is paired with a front-wheel drive. And no, it doesn't have an optional all-wheel drive setup. According to real-world tests, 0 to 60 takes almost 9 seconds, which is slow. But hey, the upside is that it's fuel efficient, according to EPA estimates, and this one has good driving dynamics overall. 2024 Mazda CX50. The Mazda CX50 is a top competitor of the 2024 Honda CR-V, which I'm going to feature in a short while. Perhaps the best way I can describe this SUV is that it's athletic and engineered to zoom the roads with style. I was fortunate enough to test this one, and behind the wheels, the CX50 is certainly stunning. The front and row seats are very comfortable, and by the way, they cater to 5 passengers only. But I can say that the interior is quite spacious, and there's enough legroom and headroom for the passengers at the back. The cabin's layout is a bit truckish, but don't get me wrong, it exudes an upscale feel. Well, that's what you get from an SUV with a starting price of 31 grand. I said earlier that this SUV is athletic, and that's because all trims of the 2024 CX50 have been bolted with a 2.5-liter four-cylinder engine that outputs 187 horsepower. But that's not all. You still have the option to get your CX50 with a turbocharged powertrain that outputs a solid 256 horsepower. Meanwhile, the standard drivetrain across all models is all-wheel drive, and they all get a 6-speed auto for their default transmission. When I drove this SUV, I immediately got hooked by its crisp and refined handling. It steered very precisely and had responsive brakes. So far, this 2024 CX50 is one of the most fun-to-drive SUVs this year, but with the downside that its higher trims are priced like luxury cars. 2024 Honda CR-V. The brand new CR-V was launched in 2023 and became an instant hit in the U.S. market. This 2024, it remains a hot seller, and that's not surprising. God. This SUV is brimming with reliability and functionality. It has a lot of usable space, its driving demeanor doesn't suck, and you can get it either front or all-wheel drive. Its base engine isn't lackluster either. It packs a 190 horsepower turbocharged 1.5-liter four-cylinder powertrain, which is paired with a not-so-stellar but functional CVT. So, all in all, the way this SUV powers its way to our roads is never that stale. But I have to admit that its non-hybrid models are a bit sluggish when it comes to hitting 60 miles per hour. There's also this thing where the engine gets noisy when it's accelerating. But props to Honda for equipping this car with hill descent control, which I really appreciate since I often travel in areas with tons of declines. Its safety features aren't lacking, and it gives enough comfort for its passengers. Stay inside for hours, and the seats will never be disorienting. I guess it's not an exciting SUV to drive, but this one is definitely smooth and handles really well. And that wraps up this discussion. Thanks for sticking to the end. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like and share buttons. I know it's a chore, but it helps the channel a lot. Until next time, drive safely. Drive safely.